Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Zachary Nolan. Carter Nolan is in front of the camera today.
Again.
And Carter, I was hopeful after last review. I really was. Now, unfortunately, the second night of Raw for me went tits up. I came in of Raw. It was raw. It was raw and rough.
Not WrestleMania.
Of WrestleMania.
Second night of WrestleMania.
That's okay. There's enough botches anyway.
More in the first night, though.
My first night of WrestleMania went well.
Yeah.
I was up 6. I was in
Made
6-1.
predictions with his friend if you didn't watch the other video.
Shout out to Jeremy, who hosted a great WrestleMania event.
Watch party.
Yes, watch party.
Yeah.
And congrats to Max, who unfortunately beat me because I had a terrible night 2 of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Where I went 2-5 because none of you fuckers know how to... I didn't even mean to hit that. None of you fuckers know how to book the Fiend. Or anyone! But anyway, so we bought this.
I bought this.
We bought this.
I bought this.
We bought this.
I purchased it.
I own it.
No, you don't.
So, like...
He doesn't own it.
We might use this when we want to make predictions for ourselves.
Yep. This is the WCW version.
Yeah. But it's got my name there, so it's all good.
It says Ric Flair. That's
I
not
know.
your name.
I'm just the best.
Yeah, so... Oh, whoops. Yeah, so... Brand Spankin'... Oh.
That's a sign we're not worthy. Get into the matches, my boy!
Yes, the matches. The matches. Yes. You know what? I'm gonna put this up here. We're gonna have it right there. Oh my god, it's so much bigger than all the other ones. Okay, so first match of the night, Randy Orton versus The Fiend. Now this was interesting after the Randy Orton versus Alexa Bliss match at Fastlane. Yeah, I didn't watch that, but I heard about it. I think there's a possibility me and Zach might actually start going into each pay-per-view rather than just because this is our first WWE pay-per-view that we've went into. I did the AEW Revolution. If you haven't checked out that video, please go check it out. I think it's a good analysis of the matches of that night. And it was a good pay-per-view. Minus the botch that everyone sadly remembers such a good pay-per-view for. So Randy Orton versus The Fiend. Now, this is an interesting one because the whole Fiend character persona has really thrived under this no-fan environment where the WWE's creative has been able to do much more as they don't have to worry about having to hide things from a live audience. They can have things exposed and just not shine the camera on it. It's easy. It's easier for them to do that. And a prime example of this obviously being last year's WrestleMania with the Firefly Funhouse match. Good God, I can't talk. But yeah, so match had a big red light right on the top of the whole thing like any other match at The Fiend. It was an interesting entrance. It's alright. Like, I mean, nothing crazy about it, but, you know, something you'd expect from The Fiend. So, right away, I'm more of a casual WWE fan. However, I'm more of a hardcore wrestling fan. I watch more All Elite Wrestling. I watch a little bit of New Japan. I watch some CZW. I watch GCW. I watch a little bit of Impact. Mainly probably AEW at this point in time. But I have kept track as much as I don't watch Raw every week. But one thing that I had heard about that I got to see today a bit as a casual fan was the way that The Fiend would do like a no-sell. Like, for example, Orton would slam on the announce table. He immediately gets up and yeah. So I found that kind of interesting. And one thing I heard that people were very mad about in the match, I guess here, I'll get onto the finish and then I'll talk about this afterwards. But Randy Orton would eventually be stuck, and it would look like The Fiend was going to hit Sister Abigail, and that was going to be it until Alexa Bliss came out of the top of the Jack in the Box looking still creepy but different, and The Fiend just kind of stared at her. Then she had almost like this black blood or paint or whatever the hell it was running down from her. Orton would hit an RKO, and that's the match. The Fiend would go down to 1 RKO, which, honestly, I didn't have a huge problem with. I thought it was like, oh, it was only 1. Like, it's not like the punt kick where, like, once he hits it, it's over. That's it. Because Randy Orton's punt kick is a very, very, I want to say cherished move. But yeah, it was interesting. And I was basically kind of saying this, like, and I was confused because I was like, does this mean that she's betraying him? Like, I'm not sure. I know people are very frustrated online. Now, I'm not crazy about the Fiend character. I know there's so many people out there that love him. It's maybe just not quite my cup of tea. Not to say that it's bad. It's just everyone has their preferences, and the Fiend's persona goes a little bit far. But I think that Bray Wyatt does a good job, and I think Alexa Bliss actually does a really good job in the role that she has too. But anyways, yeah. So it kind of maybe. I thought it would have been really interesting knowing the whole no-sell thing that the Fiend has going with him. If Orton hit an RKO earlier that match and he'd just get right up, it would really kind of show him as a bit more of a dominant force. And then what I would have really liked to see is for the finish is you could still do what you do, have an RKO, but then have him start to get up and then have him take a punt kick and that be the finish. And that, to me, would make it a bit more impactful, but it was okay nonetheless. I don't hate the match like some people do, but I don't love it either because it's not that great. Next match of the night, women's tag match. Not a whole lot to say about it, to be honest. I mean, you had the yelling between Tamina and Nia Jax, and that was fine. It was, storytelling. It was a pretty stereotypical run-of-the-mill tag team match for the most part. We would get to see a bit of stuff happening outside the ring, I believe, if I remember, unless I'm confusing it with a different match. Corey Graves would make a missed call. He would say Spinebuster instead of Powerbomb. I can't remember when this was. I wrote it down though, so it must have happened. So, and then a finish that I didn't really like this because as soon as Natalya, because I saw Nia Jax hit the ropes and I saw Shayna Baszler tag her right when she went on the ropes, and immediately I thought, okay, Baszler's the legal woman. Now Natalya would eventually get to a point where she's gonna do a sharpshooter on Nia Jax, who is not the legal woman. So immediately, I'm sitting there going, Natalya, what the fuck are you doing? She's not the legal woman. Like, yeah, I get it. Wear down your opponent. Hurt the other person in the match, so that way they can't help out. But that's not the role of the legal woman. That is the role of the one who is not legal, to take out the other one who is not legal. Unless it's a situation where they're sitting on the corner and you knock them out. Yes, what would you say?
Honestly, all I learned from this is that referees don't know plain fucking English. How the fuck does Natalya set up Nia Jax for half a millennium and the referee can't accurately communicate to Natalya? Yeah, you know what? You're kind of fucked there, see? Because she ain't the real man there, see? Like, he literally goes like this. Every 15 minutes or so, he goes like this. How about you fucking speak, boy? Use your fucking chompers! Just like Kevin Dunn! Use your fucking gnashes!
Okay. Anyway, so yeah. Natalya's an idiot, and yeah, they lost. They lost. And it's funny because as soon as that match was done, it's funny because this match, and now I had the same complaint about AEW Revolution. As soon as they retain in this match, it makes the match the whole what was it? It was like the gauntlet the Gauntlet Tag Team match. I can't remember the name of it. What was it? What did they call it? Not the Gauntlet Tag Team match. What did they call it?
Tag Team Turmoil match.
Tag Team Turmoil.
Absolutely fucking useless.
Yeah, because it kind of makes that match useless.
I lost 2 separate matches for that bullshit.
But also, like I said, it's very much like the whole AEW thing where there's this big tournament to become the number 1 contender to lose.
This is why King of the Ring fucking sucks nowadays. Because they literally put them... Because now it's a fucking crutch where you have to dress up like a pompous king fucker. Baron Corbin's been king, I think, for 15 years. Honestly, you know who should win the next King of the Ring?
Who?
Fucking fight me on this. Apollo Cruz. He is the king of Nigeria. Shut up. Shut up.
Okay.
That is the only character I accept to do the King of the Ring champ. Because you can't have a fucking face win it. The face is fucking useless in that role. Because why? Because they gotta dress up like a fucking king. And everyone loves kings. Just ask the fucking USA. Jesus Christ. And that's why
WrestleMania.
tournaments sometimes backfire.
WrestleMania, not King of the Ring.
But still.
Okay, I get it.
The point is, all the build up for
Our next match would be the Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn match.
finally a good fucking match.
Which was a good match where we had a concerned friend versus a psychopath.
Yes. It's hard to tell which some days, but yes.
Yeah. Well,
I love their callback. You can get in the match, but there's... Do you know what they do at the end of the match, though?
explain. I might pick
Okay,
up on
so
this.
here's... I'm just gonna wheel on in here. So the callback is they had their
I'm not sure if
their
you're in the
last
frame.
ever match. Their last ever match at Battleground, okay?
Okay.
There's a moment where...
I heard Corey Graves actually mention that.
Now, Sami Zayn wins this match.
Yeah.
Now, what happens is Sami Zayn wins by kicking KO with a hell of a kick, but catches him right as he goes to fall forward.
Yeah.
Props him up. Helluva kicks him again, goes for the pin.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn did the same spot. He kicks him, he goes to pick him up. Then he gets reversed by Kevin Owens, who then holds him like Sami Zayn held KO. And then I was fucked.
Yeah. So
and I lost the point on
there was a few.
But Sami carried this feud, so I thought maybe, but I was like, you're an idiot. Sami Zayn is the Christian to Kevin Owens' Edge. They don't care about him.
Which is unfortunate because Christian's
It's
really
true,
good.
though.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, but there's a few interesting points in this match. Overall, it really what made it a really good match was not that there was necessarily anything that was truly outstanding. There was a few parts that were pretty good, but it was mainly that their standard, hitting each other, moving around, grappling, all that sort of stuff it was just smoother, it was cleaner, it was done better, and it just made it more enjoyable to watch. There was a nice moment where we saw a apron brainbuster. Now, personally, I love brainbuster moves. They're for those who don't know, they're almost like a variation of like a standard suplex. Basically, instead of dropping the guy straight on your back, you drop him more on the high shoulders in the neck region, and it just looks more dangerous. Plain and simple. We eventually get a point where it looks like Owens is going to do almost like a backbreaker, but then he does a brainbuster right onto his knee before hitting the ground. I thought that was pretty good and thought that maybe that actually might have been the finish, but not surprisingly, it wasn't because it's not a finishing move. So we'd eventually get to a point where Owens would hit the stunner on Sami Zayn, and he would win the matchup. And there was the whole thing that followed of Logan Paul was there, and he was Sami Zayn's guest, and Sami Zayn was so mad that Logan Paul was okay with Kevin Owens because he had to buy into the conspiracy. Yeah, interesting. Okay. We eventually get to the point where Logan Paul, where Sami Zayn was basically like, yeah, Logan, go fuck yourself, and he walked out. Walk Shane back to the back. The fuck am I saying? Anyways, but, and then eventually he would be propping up Kevin Owens. Oh, yes, this guy wins. And then, of course, because we all wanted to see it, Kevin Owens would hit the stunner on Logan, and that would be that, which was good because he just has to hit it. It's one of those things where I guess maybe from seeing all the Stone Cold stuff, you'd see Stone Cold in the ring and you'd be like, yeah, he's gonna be all great, but then he's gonna hit the stunner. And I guess with Kevin Owens' move also being the stunner, you kind of feel the same way about it. Anyways, our next match though, Matt Riddle versus Sheamus. Now, this was an interesting one because I'm not the hugest fan of Matt Riddle. However, this match made me, I did like him more after this match. His character had grown on me a little bit. It was that big bro thing that I just never really kind of hit with. It was kind of when Ty Dillinger did that whole 10 gimmick that a lot of people seem to be very infatuated with, that I don't know, it didn't really click as much with me. Solid match. We got to see Matt Riddle do a backflip belly-to-belly suplex off the top rope. That was good. I really like that. And eventually, and now this is one of the, I love when we get a few. There are a few moves that when they connect and the thigh slap, I know it's banned. Oh, it's banned for the super kick. If they really get the thigh slap and time it perfectly, it just looks great. Like, for example, Cesaro with his uppercut, I think he does a chest slap the same way that Kane does it when he does his chops. But the good old thigh slap when they get the knee straight to the head of Matt Riddle from Sheamus looks devastating. I thought that might have actually been it there because it looked like he just knocked him out. But yeah, good wrestling psychology in that match. Overall, it was really solid. A little bit of a botch by Sheamus, as it looked like he was going to do the white noise off the top rope, kind of dropped down, still hit the white noise, but he would kind of he went up to the other top rope and and dropped a knee, and it looked like he just tried to kind of play it off and just keep going, which is good. That's what you should do. If he stops and it looks all weird, then the mistake is much more noticeable. So it's good that professional just kept going as he should, because that's his job. Eventually we get to a point where Matt Riddle looked like he was gonna do like a backflip crossbody, like a springboard backflip crossbody. I think that's what you call it. Yeah, but Sheamus would hit a bro kick upside down, similar to, I don't know if you guys watched NXT, but Adam Cole hit a super kick like this a while ago, and it was brutal. It was, yeah, hit a bro kick while Matt was upside down during the moonsault crossbody, whatever it is, and that was it. Good. That was good. And honestly, and it's funny, as soon as I said that, I'd already thought that Sheamus kind of made up for his little mistake with the white noise, but this for sure kind of confirmed it. If you didn't want that already. Anyways, our next match, Biggie versus Apollo Cruz. I don't have a whole lot to say about this match. I mean, it was good. It was an interesting one. I can't remember what the exact name. It was a street fight, though. It was a street fight, Extreme Rules, whatever the hell you want to call it. It was an ODQ match with unique items out there. It seemed like they spent a lot of time outside the ring, which is good because it's a no DQ style match. So they should. We'd eventually get to a point where to get outside the ring, Big E would hit a mid rope spear. Right onto the floor, which was nice. I think they could have put a table there, honestly. But them not putting a table there, honestly, it made it. It almost made it even more impactful, which personally I like, because as much as I love tables, I love sometimes when they don't put a table and they just let them land hard, because that it hurts more. We'd eventually get actually before that, Michael Cole. You're not off the case. You're not off the case. No.
Big dog!
You scared the hell out of me. Good God. Yeah. Yeah. Michael Cole.
It's boss time!
The
Such a kick out at two!
I don't know what.
Boom!
Yeah.
I love the miss!
That's what it is. There comes a point where he just drives me nuts. and it's mainly when we're seeing a replay, and right before Impact...
Dog! That's for later.
You almost knocked this over.
I know.
Just chuck the friggin' bottle at me. Anyways, but Michael Cole, once again, driving me nuts. Where on the replay, you're watching the replay, and because, you know, it's not like you can look at the Impact and think, oh, God, that's brutal. You have to hear Michael Cole go, boom!
Fuck you
Like,
and all your future generations. That scared the piss out of me. I'm grabbing a drink.
It's Michael Cole's fault. It's all his fault. You know it. Go and tell him. Anyways, Apollo Cruz would eventually go for a frog splash, only for Biggie to get out of the way, go straight through the table, and we eventually get Apollo Cruz winning when some guy helps him out. Now, I don't watch Raw every week. If he's showing up, let me know in the comment section down below. I've never seen this guy, and I guess that's why I was a bit confused, because normally when you have an interruption in a match, it's like, oh, his brother is helping him out. Oh, his good friend is helping him out. And I was watching, I was like, oh, he is helping him out. Whoever he is. I don't know who he is, but he's helping him out. You know what? I changed my mind. I want the title. I feel like it. It's my title. I bought it. I can do this. Anyways, so our next match, Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. This was a match that I actually had a decent amount of expectations for. I actually expected it to be better than the Owens and Zayn and then Riddle and Sheamus match. And that was mainly just due to how good the women's match was last night. And maybe this makes it a little unfair for me to put such a high expectation on it. It was still an alright match. But first thing to note, Rhea Ripley, awesome entrance. There are times where you will see they'll take the artist or band who did the music and they'll bring them in and they'll have them perform it live and do the entrance like that. It's very hit and miss. Thankfully for Rhea Ripley, it was an absolute hit. The band was awesome. The singer sounded great live, which is also hit and miss because there are some artists who are not as good live. And that is due to the fact that the way they rely on certain elements to produce their music will change that. So just a little note on that. Anyways, to the match. It was a solid match here and there. It never really got extremely fast. I kind of hoped it'd pick up a little bit more pace, especially with Asuka being in it. It seemed like Asuka was going a decent pace, but yeah, it just seemed like it started to get a little slow. And I get the whole thing, Asuka's really fast, Rhea Ripley's got to slow her down. I get that, but, at the same time, maybe what needs to happen instead is Rhea Ripley needs to turn her style up a little quicker and just to keep up with Asuka and compete with her rather than slowing her down to her level, I guess, is one way you want to view it. So we had a good DDT off the apron onto the floor. I quite like that. Again, another move just onto the floor. I love those because they hurt. They do. It's just a little bit of mat and then, well, I guess normally cement. Probably not cement. There's probably still the turf there and all that, but it hurts. It's the floor as opposed to a ring, which is still not a bouncy castle. It hurts, but not as much as the floor that has just no give to it. Eventually, Rhea Ripley would hit the Riptide and win the I believe Raw Women's Championship. Yeah, Raw Women's Championship. Which would then, before leading us to our main event, we had Titus O'Neil and Hulk Hogan come back out again. Hulk Hogan got booed earlier that night. I don't think he got booed this time, though. But, yeah, we eventually got to a point where Bayley would come out. Now, I'm going to be honest here. Bayley was really annoying the first night. She just seemed like an angry librarian. And tonight, she seemed like even more of an angry librarian. However, because it's funny. I watched this on a recording a little bit later because one of my buddies was like, hey, you know, you want to watch it? And then he had to back out later on because he had some stuff come up, and it's fine. But anyways, I wasn't watching this live. Zach had already seen what happened, and he's like, oh, you're gonna love this. And all of a sudden I hear the Bellas music, and I'm like, oh, God, because I don't know if you guys know this, but I am not a fan of the Bellas. I'd always liked AJ Lee and that era of wrestling, and there are reasons I don't like the Bellas, but I'm not going to get into that because there's no point in that. But the point is, they got booed, and I absolutely love it. Excuse me. Really, what is that doing to me? But eventually we get a point where Bayley would mention John Cena because of course, I can't remember what WrestleMania, was it WrestleMania 33? I think it was WrestleMania 33 where John Cena proposed to her right in the middle of the ring, and then that didn't work out. So, of course, they're going to bring that up because, you know, heat, which is good. It was also kind of funny because Bayley would ask for her own pyro, which is like, oh yeah. If you ever want it, I guess all you have to do is ask, and you get all this pyro everywhere, because, you know, WWE does not have a budget. Anyways, but eventually that would lead us to our main event. Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns versus Edge for the Universal Championship. First off, because as a more casual fan, I actually do really like these like hype up vids before, because it gives me a bit of insight into how it's properly built up into this, and it looked like a really great build. And it's funny, I was watching this, I was like, man, I was really hoping for Edge before this, and I'm still really hoping for Edge, but fuck, if Daniel Bryan wins or Reigns wins, I'm fine, honestly, because it sounded, just from the video, now correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounded like it was a good build, and it got me hyped to see this match. Daniel Bryan, standard entrance. Edge, sick entrance. Edge always has a sick entrance at WrestleMania with all the pyro going off. It's just, it reminded me a lot of his WrestleMania, might have been, I think it was 28 entrance. Can't quite remember. I'll have to ask Zach when he comes down. He'll know. Anyways, but Reigns would then do his entrance where he would intentionally be slow and take his time. And, oh, the WrestleMania background is fading. Don't mind me. Gotta keep my background. I'm not sure how long it's been like that, but I just noticed it in the reflection, so I had to fix it. Yeah, the match would start, and Reigns would immediately take out Bryan, which kind of caught me off guard, just I guess with how quick he was, because I don't remember Reigns being so quick, especially with him going to the ring so goddamn slow. Also, I don't think this entire time I heard Paul Heyman say a word, which is, I guess, a little disappointing. However, it's one of those things where it makes me kind of wonder, like, does Reigns really... I don't think Reigns really needs Paul Heyman, because he's so goddamn good on the mic. And, Lesnar's good on the mic, but Paul Heyman just worked just well with him. And I get it, he works well with Reigns, but I don't know, if he went without Heyman, I'd be fine with it. But you know what? Heyman's never a minus, so... I guess the only minus I have is that I didn't see enough of him. I didn't get to see him do anything. So Jey Uso would help out in this, and I love this. Reigns is a heel, so he's acting like a heel. It's a no DQ match, so his right hand man Jey Uso is gonna help him out with seemingly unlimited super kicks out of the ring, throwing guys into steps, just causing mayhem. Eventually, though, Edge would pull a Edgecutioner, DDT, on Jey Uso onto the steps to, take him out of the matchup, leave it back to the three guys that are actually participating in there. We'd eventually get to a point, though, where Reigns and Edge would both try the spear on each other. I knew this was going to happen. You knew this was going to happen. And we're both completely fine with it. Now, I remember I heard some people saying, oh, they should have put Goldberg in this match. No, they shouldn't. They should never put Goldberg in this match, because that would immediately take the time of the match and drop about 20 minutes off it. So, no. Anyways, so we eventually get to a point where Reigns has Daniel Bryan up in a powerbomb, about to go through the table. He puts him through the table. He's celebrating. He's feeding into the crowd who's booing him because he's a heel. He's a heel. And Edge would hit a spear on him. Great spear. And it's good to see. I like those kinds of moves in triple threat matches where somebody would hit something and, they'd be running away and then they get hit right away. And just kind of the one after the next after the next. So it was good. We had a point where Edge brought chairs into the ring. And he was gonna attack Reigns with it. Eventually had a point where he just had a little chair leg, which I don't know if I've ever actually seen that, like a chair leg fall off. Not that I can remember. Anyways, but it was interesting because it hadn't happened. And you get to a point where he has it like right through the mouth, and he's using it in his submission hold. And now here's the interesting part: Reigns goes. He's literally about to tap. You can hear Michael Cole yelling. He's about to tap. Yes, Michael Cole, we are watching. Like, this big TV. I'm able to see it too. I'm watching. I don't need to hear the constant chatter. So anyways, he's about to tap. Daniel Bryan would then stop him from tapping by putting him in another submission hold, which made me just go think, oh my God, Reigns is going to die and there's nothing he can do about it. But yeah, so eventually Edge and Daniel Bryan would just start headbutting each other because, because they want Reigns to be able to tap in so that they can win, obviously. Because, that's the name of the game here, folks. But yeah, Edge would eventually establish dominance, and he would put a chair under the head of both Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns, and he'd have his third chair, and he looked like he's about to hit a concerto, and he does to Daniel Bryan until he gets assaulted by, am I missing something? Yeah, it is. So before that, sorry, forgot to mention this, we had a point where Edge would pull a spear on Reigns, looked like he was about to win, and then Daniel Bryan would pull the ref out of the ring because, he wants to stay alive because... Actually, this would be the second time this match where Edge was going to beat Reigns and Daniel Bryan messed that up. I didn't even realize that. Anyway, so yeah, we going back to where I was. Sorry, forgot it. Just felt like I should mention it, as it is kind of a sort of important part of the match. Edge hits the concerto on Bryan. Jey Uso takes him out. Reigns would then hit a spear, and then hit a concerto on Edge, and then, in a cocky fucking heel move, and I love it, would then drag one over the other and pin both of them. And that is awesome. As much as, I wanted to see Edge win, if you're going to have Reigns win, that's the way to do it. And honestly, that was, it was really good. It was really good. Whenever I see a triple threat match, I always want to see foreign objects because it's any match that has no DQ in the description, there should be a good amount of foreign objects. I'm sorry, that's just... If you have it available, why the hell wouldn't you use it? Especially when you know that stuff can do so much damage. Like, it can be brutal. Yeah, honestly, night 2 was alright. Now, I don't know which night, I don't know if I like night 1 or night 2 better. I don't know. I might like night 1 a little bit better. I just felt like there's a bit more memorable moments. And I think honestly, I'd say the main events are equal. Like, it's hard for me to put one of it. Like, I might even give the slight edge to the women's match, just because of how creative they were, I guess. However, they were pretty damn creative in this match too. So I'd probably I'd give it a tie between the two main events. I don't think I can decide fairly on that. But yeah, I don't think there's really much else to say other than we're hoping to have this be do a bit more wrestling videos, as we just kind of enjoy making them. We're considering possibly doing We're considering possibly doing more WWE pay-per-views. I know I'm still going to be watching more AEW pay-per-views, and they don't have nearly as many in a year. But, you know, I'm hoping to review those whenever those come out. I think Double or Nothing's in May, I think. So maybe might do that. Might do a video on that. Let us know your opinion, please, in the comments section below. Or if you want to DM our Instagram, we do respond on there. If you want to maybe have a conversation, sure, shoot me a message, because I run the Instagram, and you know, I like talking to you guys. I enjoy it. If you haven't, please follow us on Instagram at Nolanaki Podcast. Please leave a like on this video and leave a like on night one. And you know what? Check out AEW Revolution's review that I did there. That was my first solo video, and you know what? It was a fun video to make. So give it a watch. Give our night one video a watch, like I already said. Leave a like on both, because if you like this video, however, if you did not like this video, still like it, because it makes me smile. And you know what? If it makes me smile, I hope it makes you smile too, knowing that you just did a good thing today. So give us a subscribe if you can, unless you already have. If you already have, thank you. I think we're at 330 subscribers. We're going up much faster than we anticipated, and we cannot be more thankful for you guys. And I think that's going to be it for this video. So, until the next one, see you later.